Jimbo Zodanyimija, Zonimana Jimbo Ngajado, Bargadangan Jemado, Dumbadu Jana Jansalo. Nijiro Zingi Jangamsu, Jambadu Jalo Yalama, Jimmy Benzo Jalaso, and Gonja Dobambo, Jinjilo. So, no. I'm going to talk about renunciation. Some of my friends ask me about this. What is a renunciation? So maybe these words make something different. I mean, understanding about these words, they think that we have to leave everything behind. Otherwise, there's no any way to practice Dharma. So many Buddhas taught different time, different audience or different disciple, and different teachings according individual's capacity. So actually renunciation means not you must leave everything behind, otherwise there's no way to engage in practice Dharma or become a spiritual practitioner. But renunciation means apart from attachment or attachment from samsara. So it's a kind of attitude or motivations as well. So according to Vinaya, according to bhikshus or monks or nuns, renunciation means it's a lift everything's samsaric or worldly things. That's according to the monks and the nuns, because they become as a monk and a nun or bhikshus. So the life is totally to dedicate on practice. That's why Buddha mentioned in the Vinaya, in order to become a bhikshus, you must leave your home, worldly things. If you become a monk, you can't practice with the family, or you looking after them, and your practice cannot do all at the same time. That's why the Vinaya renunciation means we have to live. That is really literal means. But according the common practice, that means renunciations. We have to free from the attachment. So we don't need to emphasis on alone the renunciation. Renunciation, if we practice Dharma, renunciation is arising within our mind. It's not a need make effort for the renunciation. Renunciation is like a kind of result or practice. So the fundamental of Buddhist we says mundu, or training mind. These are very important. I always emphasize on this to new Dharma practitioners or beginning of Buddhist. So it's really difficult to achieve something. You skip the preliminary practice and then go to high level, something like you want to achieve something immediately or something like that, without a practice of preliminary teachings, it's very difficult to achieve. That's why practice preliminary teachings very important, especially training mind. Training mind is very, very significant. So there is said full thought turning mind from samsara. So this always emphasize those beginning of practice. It's not a beginning, but whatever you really want to be pure spiritual practitioner, or means Buddhist practitioners, you have to tame in your mind. In order to tame in mind, you have to know these kind of things. So there is four categories of four thought of turning your mind from the samsara. The first is precious human body. We think we appreciate us because we achieve a precious human body, and in order to recognize precious human body, there is something to know, but today I don't need to detail on it. Just roughly introduce what is our four thought or turning mind from samsara, lurdo namshe. So there is many different translations, but sometimes it's really difficult to get in the real Buddhist means according English words. There is many different translators, different thought tendency on their self. So they translate as their maybe something opinions as well. But in order to know the Buddhist in deeply, the best way you have to know the source language. But even it's not means if you don't know source language, there's no way to practice. But still, you have to read lots of books and translated many different, like 37 practice of Buddha Sadhuva. Then almost 30 or 40 translations are available in the internet as well. Some are really different, completely different, but some are synonyms. They're using the synonym are most of the same. So just this is I'll let you know the what to say. It's in order to understand wisely and deeply. So it's very important to read in a book. And so then the first thought is appreciate our precious human body, and we have to know we are very fortunate enough to practice Dharma. And then second is impermanent. So if we know and we appreciate, then we have to remember the impermanent or death or this kind of things. People said make us sad or something like they don't like to hear in these kind of things. And even they say as a Buddhist is a pessimistic because they always telling, always reciting death and impermanent. It's not like that. If we really want to face in the problem, or we don't need to suffer and we're free from all these bad things, then we have to know, we have to study these kind of things. So that's if we practice, then this is not make our brain our suffering or make us sad. If you understand the reality, if you practice on it, then after you get confident with it, you can bear these kind of things. You never fear and you never loosen your something powerful. So it's very different. Those people who never learned about these kind of things, or who really practice already, there's a different facing the problems. Suddenly things tragedy, something like tragedy or accident, whatever, encounter the problems, it's very different can facing the problems. So it's very easy to face the problem, and there is no way to mental illness or stress or this kind of things. That's why all these things are very important. And the third one is a defect of samsara. And we have to know this. In order to know, there is a detail on the preliminary teachings. So then, and the fourth one is karma and cause and condition. We Buddhists believe that interdependent originations, and there is without cause, there's no result. That's why depend each other. There's no anything independently. So these are, if you practice on these four thoughts, then renunciation automatically arises in your mind. That we call the renunciation, something you can feel it, and that is not you need to reject or you need to leave everything. But that time, even you have lots of things and you are very interested to practice Buddhism and you are very happy to help others and going to for the others. So there is a renunciation and Bodhichitta is very important. They're together, and if you have all this practice, then these kind of things are arising as spontaneously. So these are very important. Another thing is the great Sakya Pandita, he that Shimbashooter, he mentioned that apart from the four attachment. So then he first said that if we attach this life, you are not real, you are not true spiritual practitioner. If we attach the samsara, we don't have a renunciation. If we attach the self-interest in, we don't have a Bodhichitta mind. If we attach or if we aggressive in mind, we don't have a view. That's why he just remind us what these four things do we have or not. If we don't have, then we are not bodhisattva. We are not. We don't have any view, and we don't have a renunciation, and we are not as a real practitioner. So in order to become this, then we have to know. It's very important. So all these kind of things make understanding of what is a renunciation. So the Bodhisattva, when you like a generosity of your mind, then the renunciation of Bodhisattva, that means you renounce it self-interest in. You do not attach for yourself. You 100% dedicated for other sentient beings. Then if you help others, make you more happy, and you willing have something arising willing to help others make more happy for you. And even you do something virtuous things, even you sing like a major or minor, no matter you doing something good things, you always remember the sentient beings first, and that means renunciation bodhisattvas automatically arising there. So what I say, in brief, renunciation mind is free from attachment. That's all. Free from attachment. Renunciation, when you hear the renunciation, it's not means you have to leave everything behind and you should run away and go to the retreat in a isolatedly, it's a removed area. But no matter if you retreat in a removed area or like in the forest, there is without any distractions by human, but still you attach within your mind, you practice for yourself, your motivation is dedication for yourself, then you are not practitioner. You don't have a renunciation. So as I mentioned yesterday, when we practice of Buddhism, there is no judge by physically or bigger or small. We cannot judge, and the motivation is always behind. If you motivation as a pure, no matter small or minor, that's we call it virtuous, and the person is a real practitioner. If you doing something very great things, but still you have something attached by yourself, That is not like this is like a hypocrisy. What we say, it's not just really reality deceiving yourself. If you don't have any of these motivations, and if you don't have any of these kind of renunciations within your mind, then it's really difficult to say this practicing, or there is a great result we will achieve. So it's very important, and very important, investigate ourselves, and sometime just examine ourselves. Am I a real practitioner, or do I something for myself, or do others? If you have doing something for yourself, if you realize this kind of thought, then you must fix it immediately. You fix it that moment, then your mind can change attitude, self-interesting, from attitude to self-interesting to help or think others. So these are very important. And then I hope you get little bit what's means renunciation. So the renunciation is really something like what to say, it's like attitude or motivations. So even you are renunciate, everything's behind, still your mind is involved attachment, then not it's a renunciation. So why I emphasize on it again and again? Because this is very important to understand. Some people say, oh, the Buddhist should be renounce everything's behind, and then if you practice Buddhist, then you not achieve anything in this life, or this kind of things happening. And even among the some Buddhist countries, or some young people are saying like that, but this is a lack of education or knowledge about Buddhism. So it's very important to know small things. It's do not ignore the small things, but small things make change your mind. If you change your mind, you change your life, then you become a real practitioner.